welcome to episode number 47? Question mark? 46? 46 of the OpTic Podcast. The trio today. Nicholas is feeling a little bit under the lazy, so he didn't make it in here. But yeah, welcome to another episode. Last week's episode was very well received. They liked the chemistry that we had, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, everybody.
Of course.
They even liked how often Nick was yawning and falling asleep.
Yeah.
Which I think is part of the allure. That's why he's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
That's why I'm one of his favorites.
He did a great job.
Because I appreciate that. Anyway, a lot of things that have happened in the world of Fortnite, and I don't want to start this off like to make it a Fortnite podcast, but I think that at this point that we almost have to. El Rubius from Spain. I've known about the dude for forever, since 6050. You know, from me and Willie Rex, my other Spanish super famous YouTuber. Like we've known each other for years. But El Rubius did something that no one has ever done. And we were talking about this. Do you think that there will be another time in Fortnite that something similar to this can happen? And you guys like, no, there's no way that it can happen again. Well, okay, what? Defend yourself, Jacqueline.
Okay, well, you're kind of...
Listen, I think that I didn't think we said no. I thought we said...
I said no.
I thought they were going to need something...
He defends, he's like, well, you're saying it, but yes, what you just said is what
I thought they were going to need something crazy. Like, like as I joked, I think it said like the Pope, like, oh, like that's the way you beat it. Like something like some other crazy figure.
Yeah.
But what's the one thing that still hasn't happened yet? A major group of all content creators getting together and doing a tournament on the biggest game in the world right now, Fortnite.
Yeah.
And, well, the tourney, whatever they called it, they did it the right way.
They did.
And man, did they crush it.
Did they though? But this dude, just so you know, like El Rubius has, when I talk to Fwiz and I joke to, obviously everybody knows Fwiz, and Fwiz is so passionate about his job at, the work that he's doing at Google with live and VR and all that I always like tease him about, Twitch being better than live and vice versa, and I'm like, well, I'm just jokingly, I know the answers to this, but I just want him to get Fwiz heated. So I'm like, who do you guys have? We have Doc, bro. Doc gets like 35,000. He's like, El Rubius does 220 on Overwatch anytime he turns it on. And I'm like, I didn't know at the time, but I'm like, is that a true fact? Then I went back, and sure enough, El Rubius, like this was like sometime like towards mid last year when I was, joshing with Fwiz. He was doing like 220,000 live viewers on Overwatch. Like this dude is, without comparing, because he's funny as hell, by the way. He's like their PewDiePie, and he brings it in spades. Though it's not just like, like this dude like delivers funny every single time. So, what was it? What were the final numbers?
I think it was like 1.1 million on his stream alone. On Twitch, I think Fortnite hit like 850,000 viewers in the category. Yes, Ninja was streaming with his, which is crazy. Still his consistent 135-something thousand, even with this going on.
Unseen.
And then there was just all these other viewers turning in for this tournament. So I mean, there was at least 2 million watching.
Yeah, 2 million watching at once. Damn. One game, one free game. Okay, but how free is it really? You know what I'm saying? I'm $300 in.
True. I'm 400 something. So
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I was in a call with Will and Nate Shot, and we were looking back at, that was on the day it happened, and we looked at his VOD, and out of nowhere Will goes, "Damn, this shit's got 17 million views already," and he's like, and it's got like, and it was a stream, so it had like all those mid rolls, and it had 17 million views.
Yeah, that's a lot of paper.
I don't want.
That's a lot of paper.
He was like this. So it wasn't like, what should I buy with this? It was like, so how many cars should I buy for my like family? Like,
so we're doing
one video.
Just if you guys are familiar with CPMs and the way the CPMs work, just say, and it varies because it's in Spain, but let's just say 17 million times a minimum of $2 CPM. That's 17,000 times 2, so that's 340,000 just on one ad.
Is that, I think 17,000 times 2 is 34,000.
That's what's out there, 340,000.
Yeah, I was just saying, all those numbers sound great to me. Everything you just said just sounds great.
Yeah, but
I'll take either. I'll take either.
Exactly.
Add a zero, take it away.
Gladly. But what do you think it is, though? I'll tell you what I think it is the fact that somebody can shoot a rocket and I can ride it. That's it. the illusion of it actually being a video game as opposed to like too real, too like. Think about it, man. There's so much perfect things going on with this specific video game that it just like adds that fuel to that fire, man. What do you think? What do you like about Fortnite? What is it for you specifically?
Yeah, I'm kind of over it.
Please elaborate.
No, it's like when it first came out, it was like all I wanted to do, or not first came out, but when it was like first blowing up, obviously with everybody, and I played the hell out of it. And then lately, it's been like if my friends aren't on, like I just sit there and stare at the game start screen, and I'm just like, nah, I don't want to play it because I think I'm at a time right now where Nick and I talked about it last night on the Flycast, where like when you're young and you're playing like he was comparing it to like his Halo 2 days, or I was comparing it to my Modern Warfare 2 days. Like we got on and we wanted to dominate every single time we were holding the controller. It was just the way of thinking.
Yeah.
And as I've gotten older, like I kind of just want to like get on and just like casually like play, like whether you're playing on stream, talking to chat, or whether you're like trying to do a YouTube video, you kind of just want to casually play and just game. And people right now in Fortnite, there's just so many kids playing. There's so many people playing it, and it seems like, you know, close to half of the people playing it are in that I want to dominate mode. And so it just seems like I'm not gonna like. There's just so many good people, and it's like obnoxiously good. It's like I spend so much time trying to get one kill, and then you get one kill, and then you're like, shit, I got to do that again.
No, it's actually really interesting because I think that the way it is right now, and I'm sure you'll kind of agree with this. It's like if I come across someone, they're either building and a competent good player, or they literally don't know how many fingers they have on their hands. And they're like using the keyboard and mouse like so W and then I click the shoot button.
That's me.
Yeah, I know. That's why I wasn't shying away from that.
Yeah.
But I mean, isn't that how it is? It's like you'll see someone be like, oh wow, yeah, this person has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And then this next guy, you see him and he's like, wall, ramp. And I'm not saying that's not what we do, but that is, there's like a huge difference in skill gap. I don't know if it's like pre and post Drake stream or what it is.
Yeah.
But man, it's crazy.
It is crazy. What's crazy about it though, and again, I go back to the same thing, is that, you know, like you said, that everybody that's playing it right now is playing it for the same reasons that I play Call of Duty 2 and Call of Duty 4, because I just want it to be the best sniper in the world.
The best out of all your friends. Like,
period.
You wanted people to
best,
watch you and be like, wow.
Best in the lobby.
Yeah. No, I think, see, for me, right, what's crazy for me for Fortnite is I'm still loving it. I'm still having fun with friends. The reason what's keeping me playing is, obviously, I mean, I love now like finding new ways to keep it fun. Like I've been doing more random duos and making up those stories with people.
Those are so much fun.
And then like now I've been doing more duos versus squads, so that added challenge.
Yeah.
But what I know is exciting for me is they've still yet to introduce custom games, which I know will refuel my love for it. Right.
Sure.
Playing more with my friends and stuff like that. I still have yet to even enter the wager/tournament scene, which I know
that is so
when
fun.
that builds out and we can do squads, like how much fun that'll be playing with me, you, two others. You play with Hutch. Go play with Hutch. Go play with Hutch. Yeah. And
They don't want me.
and then, but then still knowing that, and then they teased in their celebrities versus influencers, like whatever that is, that tournament that's going on that they're hosting. That the competitive play season 1 rules will be coming out soon. So like I know when there's an added ranking system next to my name, it's gonna fuel my fire even more.
Yeah.
Shit, that is
so
true.
I'm still enjoying the game. Right now, just going through, even with almost a 30% win rate, like almost with one of every 3 to 4 games I play, I win. I have almost 500 wins, and I'm still loving.
And learning.
And learning. Yeah, like the guided missile now coming out. Did you see the tease of it today?
Yeah.
Oh my God! It's like from when we used to play GoldenEye, when you would launch a rocket, and you're gonna be able to imagine launching it and rocket riding your teammate and being like, "All right, ready," and flying them up in the air and then like dive. It's gonna be so. They keep adding more new stuff to make creators want to play and create.
Yeah.
Like impulse grenades, like all that
1,000%.
stuff.
Yeah. And the theater mode that they just added obviously is a huge win. The machinima.
Dude, it's gonna be like Halo 3 montage type stuff people are gonna be able to do. Like imagine a dope play happens and it's like when you'd watch like the straight ripping montage when they got the guy in theater mode and he could go with the free cam and stuff. Like the things that creators are gonna be able to do with that is gonna be so sick.
I agree. Again, what haven't they done? Name one thing they haven't done right.
No, I know they've definitely done everything right. Except I did buy Save the World because I wanted to play it with my friends, with Blake and George, and do like this. Hey, I have a new emote. It's a refill emote, so let's have some drinks and play Save the World.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun, and it'll just be casual. And it was so boring. It was so boring.
What is it? Is it just zombies?
It's like zombies, but I thought it was gonna be like raids and like missions and like a off-brand Warcraft kind of thing, and that would have been dope.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, we only played like 6 missions because every mission was run to a certain spot, put down like a bomb, build a wall around the bomb, and protect it from a minute and a half wave of zombies that are like easy as hell to kill. So that's all it was, and it got to a point where like nobody in the chat was having fun. Like we weren't having fun, so I was just like, all right, let's just play VR.
No, but didn't you? From there, you went to go play World War II, didn't you? Have you played Call of Duty? Have you played Call of Duty?
I didn't even have a PS4 down here. That's actually something I gotta figure out. I don't have a PS4 down here.
Yeah, how weird is that, man?
It's one of those things where Call of Duty was my job, right? It was my everyday, every single thing. Yeah. All I thought about, check the COD competitive Reddit, every single waking moment was Call of Duty. That now that I'm stepped out of it, after 3 straight years almost four years of doing it, I was like, I just want to break.
Yeah.
And right now is the typical COD lull.
Yeah.
You know, the down, like, if I streamed only Call of Duty after going full time, I would not have seen the growth.
1,000%.
There's
Yeah.
just no way around it.
You know what's crazy about that is I experienced it during Minecraft, and it was I think Black Ops 1 that came out at the time, or I don't remember what it was, but look, I love Call of Duty. Call of Duty changed my life. I'll always love it. It'll be my favorite game of all. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered will forever and always be the best Call of Duty, in my opinion, you know, whatever. But I can only imagine, like, what sort of steps they would have to take in order to make this, like pop, right? Because if you look at the support that Blizzard is giving, you know, the Overwatch League, and then if you look at what Activision is, you know, doing for the Call of Duty thing, like it's gotten to the point to where you're just like, look, man, you know, I try to build a business around. I did build a business around this, and I focused on building an audience before building a championship team and do this. But we need help. At the end of the day, like we need help from Activision, and until that steps on another, you know, maybe you don't have an opinion on that, but until they truly step up, we're going to be seeing this same sort of thing where people are just going to gravitate towards a more fun game or a game that's going to allow them to live off of video games. Because right now, the game is not fun enough for people to generate a fan base or to be able to have you know, the viewership that will allow them to pay bills unless they win a tournament.
I mean, I'm sure you'd agree with this too. Like, I think when I play Fortnite at times, you think in like social capital, like this clip, like that triple impulse nade clip, and then where I impulse nade shot off the map, like that was one of the most fun things I've ever done in gaming, and that can happen in any VR map.
Yeah.
I actually don't know what I would have needed to do in Call of Duty World War II to match that level of height and fun, outside of maybe a 249, like 200 hardpoint comeback that I come back and win. Right? I mean, I just don't know what I would need to do. There's so many moments where anything can happen in Fortnite. Yeah. And then, like, for example, like you'd start a CODcast. Like I'd start a hardpoint CODcast and be like, okay, you know, this first 5 minutes is just going to be the works. Rotate here, do this. Unless when it's a crazy 4-piece, what is there going to be?
That's true. It's very, and the first time I ever realized that, because you know, I grew up watching COD. It was just like, it's just what I did. I played COD. I watched COD. I, you know, watched everything. Like in Black Ops 2 and in Ghosts, like that's all you did was watch COD, and then you would watch not only your favorite teams, but you'd watch everybody play. Yeah. And it hasn't been like that in forever.
I agree.
And then that's also in around like the Modern Warfare 3 era is also when I discovered Smash, and just for like a year and a half, like I felt myself like pulling away from watching COD because I would just watch Smash, because it's literally as soon as the 2 players spawn in and they're playing at the highest competitive, you know, play, you could get that like it's 240, 245 that adrenaline happens 3 to 4 times every match in Smash.
Starcraft 2 is the same way. Like that's the reason why I think Starcraft 2, it was its biggest strength and it's also its biggest downfall, was that like I've never experienced this before, but I don't know if you've ever heard the term ladder anxiety. But the StarCraft 2 ranking system was so good and so built out and so well done in your matches that like you would reach your highest rank, right? Like Diamond 2, like 58 points, and you'd be afraid. I would get afraid to search because I would know that when I spawn in and we type, every game starts the same way. You grab your workers in StarCraft, you put them on the mineral line, you hit enter to open the chat box, and you type, good luck, have fun, every single game. And you know that the moment you type that, it's like, it's me and only me that's going to win me this game.
Yeah.
If you've never experienced StarCraft and the anxiety you feel in it, but also the thrill of victory, it is unmatched.
What is it? The fact that you may run into somebody like Hawk or
here's the thing.
Idra at the time?
Yeah, it's what it is that
is it Idra or Idra?
Idra.
Yeah.
You would spawn in and you'd go, okay, what do I... StarCraft taught me more things about how to live my life than any other video game.
Really?
Thinking ahead, always being ready to adapt to the unexpected, making sure that you don't panic in stressful situations, right? Like, and it sounds crazy to think, and you're like, wow, this guy's the biggest nerd, but if you've never experienced a StarCraft 2 1v1 where you're getting 6 pooled, or you go to send out your drone to scout, and next thing you know, you see him building a barracks, or you're managing your stuff at his base, but next thing you know, there's an airdrop in your spawn of a medevac with 8 Marines in it trying to kill your whole worker line. Like, how do you micro and macro management? And if you played a game and you did a good job scouting, and next thing you know, you see, okay, he's going Colossus, or here comes his enemies. Here come the enemies. How do I put my army in the best way to fight this? And you win. And at the end of the game, the last thing he does is hit enter and types, GG, man. Enter, and then they quit, and it goes, victory, plus 38 points. I still get chills thinking of it, because that's what made me fall in love with StarCraft.
Look,
but at the same time, it's what pulled me out of StarCraft, because I became afraid to play.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I never understood StarCraft, but what you just said and the way you described it just got me like, hype a little bit. I'm like, holy shit, the amount of stuff that's going on there at once.
I can't even imagine like the amount of inputs. It's like StarCraft, it's like unmatched. Like the amount of inputs per second in
APM.
In eSports.
What's APM?
Actions per minute.
Yeah.
So it's like, have you ever seen them play? Like I've only seen only StarCraft tournament I've ever seen was at MLG Anaheim whenever it was COD, Smash, and StarCraft. It's like the best tournament I've ever been to. And I would go up there and I would just try to get some shots of StarCraft. I had no idea what was going on. Like Scarlet had a ton of fans. That's the only person I know in
StarCraft.
StarCraft, Jesus. Okay. And so I would just like zoom in on the hands, and it was just like, fucking crazy.
I'd be pressing backspace because I did the wrong thing.
What's so crazy is it's like that game was so like StarCraft esports would change a lot of the esports industry.
1000%.
Like, have you ever seen the clip of Flash walking out of the 737 Boeing airplane in the air when they played in the airport hangar?
No.
Some of the stuff that they had for StarCraft was absurd. Like, they literally called him like God, like how Faker was. Like, Faker. There was a big moment in League of Legends where, and I might butcher this a little bit. I'm sorry if someone's a diehard StarCraft or
League of Legends
Korean esports fan, League of Legends fan.
Yeah.
But if I'm not mistaken, there was like this chair called like the Bonjour chair, which was like the God chair that if you sat in it, you were the legend, like you were the one.
Yeah.
And it was always a thing in StarCraft, and like Flash once sat in it, and I think it was like a year ago, and again, go watch this clip too. They reveal like all these people for like the League of Legends World Championship, and out of nowhere, the last clip is like the lights down, and like Faker looks up, and he's like in the Bonjour chair. And he's like because he's like the final boss. Like, if you want to see cool clips for tournaments, go look up like Faker fan edits. Yeah. Because it's like like the song like Everybody Wants to Rule the World, and it like shows all the other mid laners, and then like the last one is Faker. Faker's got one of the coolest clips I've ever seen too of a fight in a game. Like his Zed 1v1 fight in League of Legends is like regarded as one of the most famous plays alongside the Expect A backdoor.
That's the only one I know.
Yeah, that one was wild as well.
That's the only one I know of any MOBA clip ever, because I still don't even know what's going on, but like there's an entire documentary about that one play.
It like that moment.
How crazy is that though? Well, and again, it falls back to content and what it does, like storyline and what it does for an esport. Because if let's say we took the same approach, and I don't want to make this about OpTic, but let's say OpTic took the same approach that everybody else did, and we were going out after like the players to, what if instead of saying Nade play Minecraft, I said Nade practice more.
Yeah.
Call of Duty. Like, don't focus on anything. Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty. And then you look at other esports where it's so esports centric that you have nothing else to do but to adjust your content around that specific thing, and that's where like those sort of moments happen. One of the coolest esports commercial I've ever seen, and this ties back to the content and stuff and how big it is. I don't know. LG maybe? Did you ever see the first person commercial where it's a dude playing Starcraft, and it's a first person view, so all you see is
like I have.
And then it goes like from there to a tournament, he wins, and then the flashes are flashing, and then from there he goes backstage, and then he meets like a team owner, and then from there he gets into a limo. From the limo he goes to like the SK corporate offices. He's upstairs, there's a contract in front of him. He signs that he's a private plane, bro. Like the legitest, like one of the most legit commercials I've ever seen in any genre across like the universe, because how relatable that thing was. Obviously it was Starcraft, so I didn't, but that sort of content storyline is ultimately the end driver for all this thing. But we can disguise that all we want. We can make the storylines as beautiful as we possibly can. But unless you have that sort of help that you need as an esport to grow and get to those certain levels, you just cannot.
I'm gonna let's bring in something because I think people like to talk about it or hear about it. What are those plays in Optic's history that we could do it? I would think I would love to see a month leading up to champs. Hitch puts. Does a video with the team and relives that moment where Assault beats Formal in the 1v1 in Black Ops 3. Yeah. And there's like a 7-minute. I think that's even though it's a bad moment, it's one of those moments that changed the landscape of Optic.
That might be
the biggest.
Like, because using the term great, it doesn't necessarily mean positive. That might be one of the greatest moments in Optic's history, was that. Actually, I can't even think of a second one. Like, on the happy side is Proofy's 4-piece, obviously. At X Games, everybody knows that.
E-League Major.
The E-League Major just naff.
But
Major.
These are things that I think. Sorry, not Major. I think these are things though that, like, for example, like with Vision, I think these are things that like Hitch, you would crush for like just like not a video that you expected every week, but like a video, like just like a piece that just comes out when the time is right. You know what I'm saying? Like, just think about the idea and go, or maybe it's the 3-year anniversary of it this year, leading into Black Ops 4. Yeah. You relive that moment. Figure out a way at an event to get Assault on the microphone and talk about what that meant to him as a young player to beat arguably the greatest, one of the people that could go down as the greatest.
I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And I think the time is still there to do it.
No,
it definitely is.
Yeah. No, because look. From our side, from our point of view, we're the protagonist and they're the antagonist. Yeah. In their story, they're the protagonist and we're the antagonist.
I mean, in their story, it's crazier because their story. I mean, you see all of the fans and
you see how much it meant to them.
Yeah,
that team going to that event, it was like Optic. This is their champs.
Yeah, and then
this is their
obviously like fan bases of anywhere are just gonna see themselves as the victim in anything. So they don't like they. There's a lot of people that say, they acted unprofessional afterwards, but they don't. I was standing on the stage, and they weren't hearing what Foreman was yelling to them, the first 2 maps.
Yeah.
He was yelling some crazy shit.
I'll tell you this. Those 4 players, on that team will never forget it. Forget that moment for their entire life.
Yeah.
The 4 players on Optic will never forget that moment for their entire life, and you guys won't forget that moment for your entire life. I can
tell you exactly where I was. I was sitting in the stands. They were down there. It was me, Hutch, cousin Aaron, cousin's wife, and then a whole bunch of fans around me. Okay, and I remember watching lose. I went like this, and by the time I looked up, everybody was gone. Hutch was gone. Everybody around me was gone. Everyone. I was alone. All I saw was people just walking up the banisters, up the stairs, and then thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, here we go. And then me walking, and I talk about this in Crossroads, where it was the loneliest, most sad walk ever. It's like it felt as though you got expelled from high school for doing the worst possible thing ever, and everybody was ashamed of you.
Yeah.
And I was walking there by myself. I've never felt like this ever, because every time I go to a tournament, every time I go to an event, it's all positive, always positive. I feel a certain way because of the love of the green wall and like the coolness that's happening. But this one time, it was like this blank, cold, mysterious and like strange place I had never been to.
It was like you were in the Upside Down.
Bro, yeah, exactly. No, I wanted to say it, but yeah, it felt like that. Obviously, minus the slime and all that, but it felt that way because I walked up the stairs and people would be like this, would look at me and then turn away, they I don't know if they thought that I was gonna be crying or something,
Yeah.
but it did fucking hurt so much.
Yeah.
But nothing compared to when I opened those doors, bro. Nothing compared. Like that walk, that lonely walk of like angst and like disappointment. When I opened those doors and I saw Formal sitting on the ground, I saw Krim, bro. I have like my heart dropped.
Yeah.
I had never been so like let down. And I'm not saying they let me down, but just let down by the situation. And then looking over at this guy and Aaron like filming, bro. It was like one of the like if I had those dreams, bro, I would consider them nightmares.
Yeah.
It was that cold-hearted, bro. And it was bad because, and I always say this in Vision, is like, you know, you guys are seeing us through a screen, and at times you distance yourself from the reality that is that we are real, right? And like the emotion that goes behind it was one of the most insane things ever, dude. Just seeing them record that shit, seeing them record their friends in pain for people to watch and bro, it was the wildest experience of my life.
That's the only time in the history of, or in my entire career, that I've ever had to force myself to record. Like usually, like in sad moments, like when, I guess like the best sad moments, I guess, are like when Nick and Mike got didn't make Worlds. That was a really, really sad moment. But you know, in that situation, you know, I still was there and I wanted to capture it. I didn't even want to capture this one. I was just because that was the whole storyline. Is the whole storyline leading up to that tournament was, you know, nobody deserves this more than Seth and Matt, and you know, the fact that they lost to Aches and just everything that had gone wrong that weekend is just, it was just crazy.
Because there was more to that. Like we can't go, we won't go into it, but it wasn't just like there was shit behind the scenes that was like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't just a tournament. It was other stuff that was adding on to this like fuel between the players.
Yeah.
So like,
but at the same time too, like that was also like, and the crazy thing to think, and that's why like people at times are like, why do you guys talk so much about what happened in the past? Why do you talk so much about what happened in the past? Like, that was Aches defending his legacy. Like, Aches was looking at his former teammates across the stage with now this God Squad that was formed that changed the way teams form rosters. It was no longer to form the best team. It was to form the team that could beat OpTic Gaming. Like, they were the tournament favorites to go into every single tournament, like, about everything. Like, what makes, and the crazy thing is, like, that Vision episode, right? Like, showing them, like, the loss. Like, those moments, and that's why I will always just, the people that go, I can't stand, why do they even grab loser interviews? There's loser interviews in every sport for a reason. It's because it makes the time that they win that much sweeter. It makes it because if you don't capture that moment of Formal sitting with his heads in his hands, but then the same moment a year later when Formal's, you know that moment where he's like that with like the hands on his head or whatever with the trophy. Does that not make that moment that much better?
Yes.
That's the way it goes, and that's why it's so important.
it's life, man.
It's important for everything, and that's why I think you see more and more teams going, man, why don't these organizations have these documentary teams or these documentary things? And I think that's why you're seeing more and more things expand, because you capture the low moments to make the high moments that much better.
Absolutely.
Could you imagine, you know, talking about COD, could you imagine if there was a videographer that, you know, was able to capture what all, you know, has been happening in like Theory's career? Like, that's one person where how long did he play? How long did he play, you know, before getting these first two wins, or these first two tournament wins at the beginning of World War II? And I mean, if you just look at his transformation just physically, and you can tell there's a lot of story there. And you know, it just seems like nobody in Call of Duty is interested in doing it.
The thing there too is like, if you look at, I don't know if you guys have seen the Conor McGregor documentary. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Well, I'm obviously more of like the UFC series, like the actual Conor McGregor. I haven't seen that one. No.
Yeah, bro, it's insane. They have like the whoever in his camp, okay, in a time where they had no money.
Yeah.
Imagine that. It's a place where Conor McGregor has he's just a regular us. And somebody says, record this guy. And he has no tattoos. He's eating like in a small ass apartment.
Whatever
he's with his wife. He's with his mom, living with them together, and they're living in a very humble place. And he has no tattoos. And then he's working through these like fights and becoming Conor McGregor. Bro, when I was watching, I'm like, who was the genius?
Yeah.
That made this thing? Because The second that I saw it with no tattoo, so I was like, this is going to be, it's already awesome. The fact that they were able to have the foresight to say, let's record this dude. Something's there with this dude. Imagine somebody said that to Ninja. Think about like the amount of storylines, you know, think about the amount of, imagine Nate Shot, right? Imagine somebody like doing all this. Imagine Seth. Imagine everybody that's done it, man.
Yeah.
Like the storylines are there. It's just a matter of somebody saying, let's just fucking do it, man.
Yeah.
iPhone is just as good as anything. If that Conor McGregor stuff was all shot on an iPhone from the beginning, and I was watching that in 240p, I would not have gave a shit because it was that
Content's
good.
that good.
Oh man, yeah. Well, what do you think? What do you think right now? I mean, if you want to, I mean, and I'm only being courteous to you because we're on camera, right? But like, what do you think that and you know, Call of Duty needs to do in the next couple of months? Okay, not even years, because do we have?
Well, today might be a big day.
Well, I have no idea what's on the horizon.
They're not. It's not multi. They'll never do another multiplayer throwback. It cannibalizes the game.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll ever be a thing either. But if for me, from a player standpoint, I just need incentive. I need incentive to play again. I don't know what it is. I don't know how, but
yeah.
Again, I talk about this all the time, but what makes people go back to a BR? Why is BR right now the biggest thing? Because the thrill of victory, the thrill of it is unmatched in all of gaming, outside of 1v1s. When you play Call of Duty and you load up Team Deathmatch, one side wins, one side loses, and you can be on the winning side and barely even get involved. How many times do you open a scoreboard and you're 54-7, and you've got XXX Johnny 7437U with his whole cell phone number on there, 6-48, and you're like, wow, he got carried. Like, okay, maybe he still feels the good thing of winning, but like, at the end of the day, half the people in the lobby win, half the people lose. And that thrill of victory goes away after a while, unless it's an extreme scenario.
Yeah.
In Battle Royale, little Johnny 27 loads up after watching his favorite streamer. He goes in, his first game, he gets to top 70, and he's already beginning to be like, oh my God, I'm one of the top 70 left. Like, I made it through a landing.
Yeah.
Dies at 56th. Next game loads on up. Dies at 48th. Next game loads up. Oh my God, am I in the top 30? He's hiding in a bush. He's panicking. He's got a higher thrill of intensity.
Of hiding.
In a top 30 in a BR
Yeah.
than he would in a Halo, Call of Duty, any other team versus team oriented shooter game.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he's in his first top 10. My first top 10 in a BR, I actually felt like I was going to shit myself, right? And I gamed for years. But that feeling, because only 1% of players wins, the goal of trying to win keeps people wanting to play for that much longer, because literally only 1% wins. Only one person wins. Only one team wins in a squad game.
Yeah.
So that brings you wanting to come back for more to get that victory.
Yeah.
And you get a greater thrill in a BR being top 25 than when you win a team game.
Yeah.
It's been years since one more game, mom, or one more game has been a thing for me. And it's one more game. And for me, it's always been about the social aspect of it. You know, hanging out with Hutch, hanging out with Diesel, hanging out with you guys, and just like talking back and forth and just shooting the shit.
Yeah.
Right. And the fact that we can do that on a fun game just makes it that much better. And I haven't gotten that since Modern Warfare Remastered. Before Modern Warfare Remastered, I think Black Ops 3 did a really good job of bringing the ultimate of Optic together and having fun because of the amount of moments that we had in it. But World War II, to its disadvantage, I don't even know if it's good or not. I don't even know if it's good or not.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Okay, that's a problem, because as a person that loves Call of Duty, as a person that has considered getting the Call of Duty 2 logo somewhere in my body because of how much I love Call of Duty, if I don't. Maybe it was at the mercy of a new game that came out. It was Battle Royale genre, and then Fortnite coming out of that. But I don't know. I am at a loss for words as to what. I've solved it many years ago when I told people that if you have League play exactly like Black Ops 2, do you think that would help? Black Ops 2 League play in every single one.
And even that wasn't that great. Like, again, we talked about this yesterday.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't?
People look back on, and that's the issue. People look back, especially in the Call of Duty scene more than anything, with rose-colored glasses. Mm-hmm. They've done Call of Duty. My best memories of all of gaming, like MW2, GBs, my friends, landing in my basement, trying to do my first streaming and YouTube content creation at Black Ops 2. Like, I had that private video of me with Big Timer. Like, I'll never forget that moment of my life, right? they've got all these great memories, right? But at the same, what was I going to talk about?
About rose-colored glasses.
Rose-colored glasses. Thank you.
Yeah.
League play, Black Ops 2, people getting hit offline, right? People loading on in, quitting out of games. People loading on in. You win a game plus 10, you lose a game minus 150. You now need to win 15 games to get back to where you were. People forget all of that.
Yeah.
This, I think, Call of Duty World War II was the closest it's been, but because the player base is so small, when you play League of Legends and they get to their top 50 in the world, their top 100 in the world, or in Challenger, they get 10 to 15 minute queues because they're trying to match with other challengers, so they have to wait, right? Well, in Call of Duty, there's such a smaller player base that you get to the top 15 to 20% in ranked, and you're doing a 10-minute queue. Or even, well, let's do it on a smaller scale. League of Legends, you play a 30, 40-minute game, 10-minute queue, okay. Call of Duty, you play 10 to 15-minute game, even a 5-minute queue. You know, you're spending a quarter of your time in the queue.
Yeah.
It cuts down quick, you know?
But all that has to deal with just how good the game is. And like World War II, the hype behind World War II was insane. And
well, it was the first time in 3 years that we're going back to boots on the ground.
And then it was possibly the worst launch in console history. You know,
No, Halo Master Chief Collection would like to have a
that's what I'm saying. Like, well, but the thing is I was PJ was living in the house whenever it dropped, and he said it's getting up there, man. I mean,
What was bad about it?
every game, every time you got on to play, that error popped up.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Okay.
Like 70% of the people, like unless you bought the disc, like if you downloaded it, you couldn't play it. And then, you know, on top of that, people were getting deranked. And, you know, luckily we had the disc for the Race to Prestige.
Yeah.
Because people would go to third Prestige and then they'd log back on and they'd be first Prestige level 0. And if that had happened to us, we would have quit. Because it was already such a grind.
Oh, wait, you guys did all the way to 10th.
The whole way.
I forgot about that, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, it was...
And think about this, that was with them originally
Messing up.
accidentally having the 3 times XP on.
Yeah, so we were playing with like quadruple at one point.
I'll never forget the first time I loaded him with Post Malone, and I looked, and it was like, or something. It was like this third week of playing, or a month after playing, and I get in Post lobby, and you know, I may be second Prestige something. I've been grinding the game.
Yeah.
And I look at Post, and this man's like, I'm like, what emblem is that, dude? And he's like, oh man, it's like 5th Prestige or something like that. I'm like,
How much do you play?
I was like, and he only plays Team Deathmatch. And I was
Only
like,
goes double nag.
and I was like, you've been playing a lot, huh? He's like, I fucking love these supply drops. He's like, look at this shit. He's got 200 drops falling down. I'm like, he's keeping Activision in business.
Yeah.
Like, no, but it's just fun. Like, and that's the thing, right? Is right now, Fortnite, with what they're doing with athletes and how many athletes are playing, is what Call of Duty was a few years ago. With athletes and knowing what the brand is. I have never, right, in my history, CSGO, one of the biggest games in the world, you would go up to someone, my aunt, and go, well, yeah, has little Johnny been playing CSGO? No, what's that? Has little Johnny been playing Call of Duty? Yeah, I've heard of that. I think he has been.
Yeah.
There's only a couple genres that I've heard, that any adult has heard of. Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto,
Fortnite.
and now Fortnite. Yeah, and yes, there's the Marios and this and that they've heard of, right? That's
Mario's and Minecraft, yes.
Yes. But of those bigger games,
Yeah.
Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, and now Fortnite is in that same bubble.
Yeah.
Nuts, man.
And maybe World of Warcraft, actually.
What
World
do
of
you
Warcraft
think-
is in there too.
I mean,
You'd actually be surprised.
I
with
would.
World of Warcraft.
I would be surprised.
After how much I played that game, the amount of people that know that of that existing is. Think of what that.
Do you think Battle Royale would save Call of Duty? And I'm not saying save. Again, I don't want it to sound like I'm talking shit about.
It's still like again. If Call of Duty hasn't died by now, it's never going to die.
It's
That's
never,
the thing,
it's
right?
never going to die.
It is still the biggest launch of the year.
Without
a case, #1 on console, always, even in its lull years, even when we said like this is going to be terrible, it still is.
I would say they could release an actual piece of garbage and it would still do good. But then I realized they've already done that, and it still did good.
Yeah.
It's always going to exist. I just don't know. I don't know. They need to find a way to make it exciting. Every game.
Every game needs to be.
How many things do we have going right for us, though? Okay, let me put it into perspective here for everybody watching at home. You look at other esports, and then you see the game, and then you look at the mechanics of the game, and then you look at the ecosystem within that game. Tournaments, Counter-Strike, for example, has 1 million tournaments going on, so that's a little bit of a negative because it's oversaturated. You look at League of Legends, and then obviously they're doing a lot of things right, and then there's still a few things where they disagree on some of the things community-wise. I think in Call of Duty, right, without tooting my own horn again, or OpTic's horn, think of another esport where you have, established teams like we do, right? Superstar players like we do, right? Talented casters, all right? Talented production companies. Adam Episola and that group that puts up the best fucking tournaments out there with a small group of people.
Yeah.
Right? Think about everything that Call of Duty has right going for them.
And it's just a game.
And it's just a game. Think about that. Like, I mean, again.
That's what, like, I think it could happen. I think another Black Ops 2 year could happen. But we just need, it just needs to be the right game. And that's the thing with COD, is that at least, like, people always said the worst part about COD is it's a new game every year. And I would agree with that if we had been releasing consistently quality CODs. Like, imagine being in the Halo community. Like, Halo 5 came out, a lot of people despise, the way the entire movement system, because it's not like Halo fans are like, we actively don't like that. It's that they are genuinely uninterested because of the movement system, that they don't even care anymore. They're playing something else. They're playing Fortnite.
There's just sorry.
Yeah, and I just feel like at least, in the COD community, we get that, and we're like, well, another one next year. We only have to wait, 9 more months. Yeah. By the time the hype is worn down, we're like, well, hopefully another one will come out, and hopefully this one will be good. Well, I haven't had the feeling of like not wanting to get out of a Call of Duty yet. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think I've had that twice happen in my life, and that's with Minecraft and this one. But as a person who has been here since 2000 and when was Call of Duty 2 released? 5, 6? Doesn't matter. The fact that the
2005, I think.
All right, so let's just say I was playing Call of Duty 2, fell in love with the game. It's life's calling, essentially.
Yeah.
I go 1 year, and then they release a new Call of Duty. I'm super hyped. I'm like, holy shit, Call of Duty 3 is going to come out. Yep. 15 minutes on the game, I'm off. I'm back on Call of Duty 2. Yeah. So from the beginning, these guys have been releasing shitty fucking re-releases, right? It wasn't until Call of Duty 4 that came back to we're like, woo! It wasn't until Call of Duty World War II, Modern Warfare 2 came out. World at War was okay, Arasaka and all that.
It's funny how it did such a switch. Like, it was all IW about Call of Duty devs, and now it's just all Treyarch. And obviously they had their whole transition, but like Treyarch is. But I've said this forever. I think my favorite Call of Duty game is Black Ops 3. I think that even just stepping back from competitive side, I think Black Ops 3 at its base disc is one of the most incredible values in console $60 history for what you got on the game.
I can agree with that.
You get a full campaign, very well fleshed out. You beat it, you unlock nightmare mode with like zombies or whatever it is. You get the base zombies mode. That when you play it, you get Dead Ops Arcade, which is that top-down zombies.
Amazing.
Crazy. That's like a
Dead Ops
a
Arcade is so much fun. Yeah. It's like it's the most underrated thing in Call of Duty.
Then you get
by far
a fully functioning theater mode. You get the free run mode, which they didn't really do much with, but I feel like
awesome.
It was still a cool way to try it.
Yeah.
Then you have a full functioning multiplayer with obviously all the unlockables, all the things you can push for, even without DLC, just the bare minimum. That you could go through and play and reach Prestige Master the first time they've ever done that, level 1000, and keep playing because you've got these specialists and these things that make you want to come back. That was for $60.
Yeah.
Unreal. The only games that have had that same feeling is like Halo 3 because you had the skulls in campaign. You obviously had Forge mode, which Forge mode changed everything with that.
Yeah.
I think Black Ops 3 was way up there in terms of fun level for me, 1,000%.
People took it for granted, and I think that was one of the games. I think it was one of the games where the competitive side.
Even verticality was fucking perfect on that thing. In my opinion, better than Advanced Warfare, and way better than
Call of Duty Black Ops 3 would have been a near perfect game if there wasn't the ability to slow wall run and then get your boost back. If you were wall running, you should not have been able to regain that much boost. Right? You should have been capped or something. I love.
I didn't even see that as a big deal personally.
It just broke down the maps. Like if you ever got sniped by Teddy Rex on Redwood, where he flew over the back a building
Over and
bunker,
over and over, yeah.
you would understand it instantly.
But how often did he do that? And he did
Every game.
Every single game. What I'm saying is that how many people can do that? He deserved to do that because he was that good that he could do that.
And
it
and
wasn't
like-
like a glitch that
Yeah.
anyone can just
I
fucking
do get that. I do get that, and it was
Yeah.
absolutely a skill. But at the same time,
It just
if I'm
wasn't-
going through and I've played Call of Duty for 10 years, and now now I load into this game, and instead of me having to just look at my sight line,
Yeah.
or maybe a little bit above or below, I'm now having to pre-aim that.
What I
I'm
kept,
going like this. What am I even playing?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
this
yeah.
Titanfall?
what I
Yeah,
kept
yeah.
saying is Black Ops 3 was an amazing game. It just wasn't Call of Duty, and that's what people will say about Halo 5. Is Halo 5 is a good game. It's just not Halo, and you can almost like group those two together like as a certain genre of game, but you know, and that's why I didn't play Black Ops 3. You know, I played it every once in a while.
You didn't really? I played the shit out of that.
700. We played. That's where we first really played a lot together.
Yeah.
It was Reliving Optic stuff and Black
Yeah.
Ops 3. I mean, I played 700.
What was my
700
gun?
plus
The
wins.
Rhino?
The
Was-
Razorback.
The Razorback.
Razorback,
Ooh, loved it.
Think of this, and this is something completely random. That gun was so OP in the beta that they had no intentions of patching weapons right and tuning them.
Yeah.
The second day of the beta, they had to release a hotfix to nerf the Razorback because
Dude, it was amazing.
literally like Pipsqueak 27 would sign on, see his buddy Davis do well with it, and be like, "Wow, this gun is OP."
Yeah.
They had to nerf a weapon on the second day of a
Yeah.
3-day beta.
Yeah.
Because it
I
was
used
beta
it throughout the
weekend.
entire season. By the way. Through the entire game. That was my
I
go-to.
know. Yeah, I'd watch.
it was terrible after
I was
that.
so
but,
good with it that I can only imagine I would have been a god.
But
It
to
never got
be
patched.
fair, that's whenever I played in that game, I would try to use the VMP, I would suck. I would try to use the M8, I would suck. I would use the Kuda, and somehow I would hold my own.
And the Kuda was good. The Kuda wasn't terrible.
Yeah, so I always
Man, sniping in that game was so much fun.
yeah.
I agree.
No,
Ledge boosting
everything.
in that game and bouncing off the wall,
Yeah.
making crazy glitch, not knowing where you're going to end up was, again, social capital. Free
Awesome.
clips.
I
The amount
agreed.
of clips that I got out of glitch because I'd be like, watch this. I'd glitch and it would put me on a side of a wall run. I'd be like this. I'd be like, you'd have to react instantly. You just have to react. It was like you blacked out and you were like, oh my
Yeah.
God, this is where now I am. Like,
Yeah.
That was unreal.
So do you think
Yeah.
that's what it's about for games to be successful? Like the fun aspect of what ifs?
Nowadays, with how big social media is,
1000%.
the reason why these athletes and these people are playing and meeting these gamers, the reason why Drake has met Ninja is because Ninja uploaded crazy clips on Instagram that gained traction, that people began to follow, and Drake said, this guy's a beast at a game that I'm now getting into. Follow, here's my cell number, let's play. And it's because of clips that look fun and make you want to get on the game.
Ninja got Drake's number just like that.
Just like that.
Crazy.
He actually followed Ninja before Ninja followed Drake.
Yeah, I think it was live on stream and reacted to
Yeah,
it.
he had no idea who Champagne Poppy was. He said, Champagne, what do you guys mean? Because his whole chat was like, Drake just followed you, what the hell?
Yeah.
And he was just like, I don't see Drake, I see a Champagne. And then he just fucking freaks out.
real.
Yeah, he goes,
41 million followers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you, I mean, let me ask you this, and then we'll close it out. Do you think you can be a big fan of someone, and not follow them on social media?
yeah. I mean, I don't think I
so.
follow Drake on anything social media.
Yeah.
And
I value how I follow different. Is this weird on different social medias? Like a Twitter follow, I'm like, oh, like for example, like Twitter timeline. I feel like I judge differently than my Instagram timeline. Like I follow almost 1,200 people on Twitter.
Yeah.
I only follow 190 on Instagram. I only follow 126 on Twitch. I only subscribe to 60 on YouTube.
Yeah.
I
Only 60. That's a lot.
Don't. Oh, yeah. See, but like that's
I
I guess.
subscribe to a ton of
Again,
people.
I
it's different.
follow a ton of people on Instagram because I just like the content. You know, from graffiti writers to watches to panoramas. You know,
The models.
no, I don't. I can't.
Yeah,
What's
me
funny is
neither.
like there's only a couple. There's like only a couple Instagram models I follow. Alexis Ren, if you see this, but for real,
She's not going to see this.
she's not.
But somebody can tell her, like, show her
Yeah.
that clip.
Yeah,
That's true. That could happen.
I just want
And
to.
in that situation, I'm sitting like this. So that sucks.
But yeah, no, it's. I value Instagram more of like I'd rather just see my friends and people I care for's
Yeah.
photos than. Like my mom messaged me, Jack, I'm worried. I feel like you're getting too big. You're really the way you're posting on Instagram is like it's only your face at all times. like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just start screenshotting every popular Instagram person's page.
Yeah.
And it's only pictures of them. And I'm like, Mom, like this is the way people, if I upload a picture of me, just me, it gets its most engagement, right? If I uploaded a photo with us three like this, like it would get less engagement because I'm in a group. From what I've noticed, if I upload a photo of just something that's not my face, it gets a quarter of the engagement.
Really?
Yeah. It's like a tweet. If you look at my
I
Twitter,
have never in my life have like and people hate me for this because Rob from UMG or Lunkers, he is always on his analytics page, always on YouTube, and I've never really paid that deep attention to it. It's like, here's my content. If you like it, awesome. If not, I completely understand. We can still say hi to each other, but I never like looked that deep into it. But I like it though. I like. I'm interested in shit like that.
One thing I know, I joke, but like if there's one thing I know how to do well, it's get likes and retweets on Twitter. And like, and if you look, every time I post a stream link, it's got a photo attached to it because tweets with photos get about 100% more engagement, and I want as many people engaging with stream link tweets as possible.
Yeah.
I knew the pon-pon of me seeing the pon-pon for Ninja's video.
Yeah.
I knew people were gonna love that and absolutely want to see it. So I immediately said to the editor, I was like, Swappa, can you just send me a 30-second clip of that pon-pon so I can tweet it out? And I said, and you saw it. That is me tweeting out my video with the full video here that has 4,000 likes now and 400 retweets. That would not have done the same if I just said, hey, go watch this.
Yeah. Yep.
I appreciate it. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, guys. If you guys enjoyed the podcast, please remember to hit the like button. All of our information in the description down below, so follow us on Twitter. That's a lie. And it shouldn't be a lie, guy. All right? If you're watching, editing this, put our shit in the description down below. God damn it. I'll see you guys on the next one. We'll see you on the next one.